Dan Davis, Financial Planning World co-founder. I welcome you to our series on best practices financial planning. Topic today is in the area of protection planning, specifically on long-term care. Having practiced for over 3 decades, this is the area that I have found candidly to be probably the most challenging. And I've done a lot of things wrong early on. And what I have found as a sort of trial and error is a process that I think works. So I'm going to share that with you. I wouldn't consider myself expert in this topic. So as I think about round table sharing of ideas, I'm very open to other team members coming to the table to share their thoughts on this, and as a collaborative community learning from each other as all topics. But this is an area that the first thing I think to do is make sure that we don't have the product insurance in the process too early, because the cost, the thought of insurance itself interferes with the decision making. And so I think the very beginning is really understanding and having the client talking out loud by you asking questions about what their experience is, whether this is a concern, whether or not it should be a concern, and it's not, so they can really intellectualize it. So the way I bring it up is I basically ask a client, in the area of protection planning, we're going to help you make sure that you've got the right umbrella coverage, so if you get sued, you're taken care of. If either of you need care that's beyond what medical would cover, that it doesn't wipe out the family, and a variety of other things. But today's topic, we're going to delve into long-term care, and so I'm kind of role-playing how I would do that with a client. And then I would ask, have you had any experience with family members needing care at home or in an institution? And then, they'll say yes or no, and if they have no, it's really kind of a difficult one. If they say yes, then it's just a series of open probes. Tell me more about it. Who was it? How long did they need care at home? What did it do financially? Did they have insurance? What does all that mean to you? Those kind of questions, getting them talking about it. And then I ask, is that a concern of yours? And if so, why? And if not, why? So that we're really having dialogue. I do this after we've done a retirement cash flow scenario, where we're looking at a variety of different scenarios about when they would retire, whether or not they're going to be able to achieve what they're trying to do. And then we introduce this because it may mean that they have to buy insurance, and if so, we've got to put that in the budget. Or in many cases, people will say, well, we'll just live with that risk. And then if that's the case, we start to talk about a sinking fund. And that's literally a completely separate pool of money that we have to allocate, which means people normally have to work longer to allocate that. And it's just kind of a difficult topic because no one wants this. It's sort of like, I remember when I had to fix some sewer lines at a house. It was one of those things that I felt no economic value from. Some could argue that there is, because you don't want sewage in the house, but I didn't feel very good about it. But yet I had to spend the money on it. Kind of reminds me of that as I'm working maybe even disability insurance. Then we go through and do the analysis and come back with them and show the illustrations to them about, if this happens, what does it mean? Have very particular conversations, and then we have insurance proposals. We typically will do a variety of different proposals where we're looking at average stay, call it 2.5 years, where we'll do like a 3-year policy. We'll also do like a 5-year policy, and do some different what ifs within that, and then really start to have conversations with them about how serious are they? Would they like us to do underwriting with it? Those kinds of things. I've had 2 clients that I can think of that I was very close with. One bought insurance when they were in their 50s, and then in their 70s went into a care facility, a memory care facility. Another, I had the same conversations with in their 50s, didn't buy it, went in within a couple years of each other. Both of them, the couples were still alive. Over here, the spouse cared for him at home as long as she possibly could. And by the time he went in, she had great confidence because about 80% of what the cost was being covered by the insurance policy. Over here, I had a scenario where my client, who had cared for him as long as she could, was really worried that she was going to run out of money, that she was going to have to go live with a child and maybe even bring the husband back home, and she really couldn't bring him back home because she had cared for him for as long as she could. He started getting aggressive, etc. So in summary, this is not an area that I feel expert in, but yet the process that we're doing I feel is a good best practice baseline. So goals and concerns, don't bring the policies in too early, do the analysis work, bring the policies into that, and see what you can do for them. On that, I'll sign off from our St. Louis office after I drove in today from our Nashville office. Have a great rest of the day. Financial Planning World welcomes your feedback. Take care.